Hey guys, as you can see from the title on the page, we're going to be discussing customary weight measures today. This is my math journal, and I would like you to take the next page in your math journal and set it up the exact same way. So I would like you to pause the video and make sure that you label in your table of contents, customary weight measures, and set up your page in the same way. As we go through the video, I would like you to put the examples that we've discussed underneath each of the types of measures, and I will be checking that tomorrow. So please pause the video now to set up your page, and I will wait just a moment. So remember, weight is a matter of mass and how heavy something is. Customary weight, again, we have customary and metric, and we're discussing customary so far. We just did length, and now we are going to do weight. There are three measures. We have ounces, pounds, and tons, and it is important to know what sort of common things around us that are each of these measures, so we can have something familiar to us that we can compare. So I found a couple of things that you would be familiar with that are around these measures. Alright, so ounces are relatively small, and these are a couple of things that weigh about 1 ounce. 5 quarters weigh about 1 ounce. A slice of bread weighs about 1 ounce. A handful of nuts. A stick of string cheese, which I know you guys are familiar with. And a pencil weighs about 1 ounce. So if you're looking to see, well, should I measure this one item in ounces? Well, if you wouldn't use sticks of string cheese or slices of bread to measure it, well, you should probably not use ounces to measure it. If it would take too many sticks of string cheese, then probably you should go up to the next measure. So 16 ounces makes up a pound. And these are things that you're familiar with that weigh about 1 pound. We measure coffee in a pound. So many times the bags of coffee come in 1 pound. Your parents might buy a bigger container of coffee as well. You might want to go see, if your parents drink coffee, what their container or bag is made up of. Believe it or not, the big bottles of, not the 2-liter bottles, but the bottles of soda actually weigh about 1 pound as well. So that is something you're familiar with, that is about 1 pound. Deli meats and cheeses, we frequently buy in the amounts of 1 pound. Ground up beef we buy in pound. Meats we frequently buy in the amounts of pounds. And then 4 sticks of butter. That container of butter that we get, your parents get, is a pound of butter. So if you wouldn't use any of these to weigh, if you're not measuring an ant against 4 sticks of butter, then perhaps you need to go down to ounces. And this may seem odd to bring up, but when we are discussing measurements tomorrow in our worksheet, when we're discussing it versus questions, is what we're supposed to use our measurements for, what our appropriate measurements are for. This will make more sense when we know our comparisons. What we know is Well, what around us measures 1 pound, then these comparisons make more sense. So, while ounces and pounds are very close together, tons, our next measurement, is much further apart. There are 2,000 pounds in a ton. So things that measure a ton are much, much larger than, a bottle of soda, or, a container of deli meat. So the things that we would measure in tons are much, much larger. So you have to think on a much larger scale. And usually they aren't the things that would just measure at one ton. They are things that measure beyond that, more than 1 ton. So things that measure 1 ton would be, say, a walrus. A male walrus would measure between 1 and 3 tons. Also, my car measures about 1 ton, and it is actually on the lower scale of vehicles. Texas buys a lot of trucks, and trucks frequently weigh 2 or more tons. And elephants. Elephants will weigh up to about 10 tons sometimes. So they weigh quite a bit. So think about that when we are, again, making the comparisons, coming up with a list. What would you measure in a ton? So those are the things. I hope you copied those down in your journal. If you did not, you'll have to go back and watch the video again. Fortunately, you have the ability to do that, and I will be checking that tomorrow. You can always go through and see if you can find anything else that weighs approximately that. You can get online and see what weighs a ton. That is a colloquialism, though, that I find out. There's always the riddle: what weighs more, a ton of feathers or a ton of bricks? See if you guys can figure that one out. And I will see you guys tomorrow.